All right, let's get into it. We're about to untangle a story that has absolutely dominated the headlines. This incredibly complex web of power, abuse, and secrets surrounding the recently unsealed Jeffrey Epstein files. This isn't just any story. It's about a criminal network that allegedly reached the very highest levels of our society.
And to set the stage, just listen to this quote from Donald Trump back in 2002. It's unsettling, right? But it reveals a crucial truth. It shows just how close Epstein was to extreme power, and it suggests that his disturbing reputation was pretty much an open secret in those elite circles, long before the full scandal ever really broke.
So let's break it down. What exactly are these files that have caused such a massive tidal wave? And more importantly, why do they matter so much? Well, first off, the sheer scale of this is it's hard to even wrap your head around. We're not talking about a few pages here. We're talking about a colossal release of 3 million pages, plus thousands of videos and images. It is a mountain of information that we're all really just beginning to sift through.
So, what's the bottom line? These files are the key. They're what unlocks the vast hidden network of Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender. They expose his connections, his methods, and the entire infrastructure of his crimes.
And here's where things get truly explosive, because the most immediate thing that jumps out from these files is the shocking roster of powerful people who were in Epstein's orbit. And these aren't just names on a list. They're attached to some extremely serious allegations. For example, the documents implicate 2 former U.S. presidents. Donald Trump's name? It shows up over 5,300 times, and Epstein reportedly had 14 of his private phone numbers. Bill Clinton's name appears thousands of times, and flight logs show he flew on Epstein's private jet 26 times. The allegations in these files range from accepting underage girls as gifts all the way to claims about potential blackmail videos. And then you've got this whole bizarre situation with Bill Gates. According to draft emails found in the files, Epstein was allegedly trying to blackmail the Microsoft founder. The emails claimed Gates got an STD from Russian girls and was desperately looking for Epstein's help to get medication and hide it from his wife, Melinda. Now, Gates' team calls this a complete fabrication, but Melinda herself has publicly said that her husband's relationship with Epstein was a factor in their divorce. And to show you just how wide and strange this network was, consider one of the most shocking names to pop up, the renowned scientist Stephen Hawking. The files allege that he attended parties on Epstein's island to watch unclothed girls. It's a detail that has left pretty much everyone stunned. But this goes way beyond just a list of A-list names. What the files really reveal is something even more disturbing: the horrifying system Epstein built. It was a whole infrastructure designed specifically to facilitate and conceal his crimes. His private island, for example, has been described as a true evil lair. I mean, it was a place designed for absolute secrecy and control, kitted out with hidden cameras, secret tunnels, really bizarre and creepy decorations, and even a strict rulebook that demanded total silence from all the staff. And Ghislaine Maxwell was apparently central to this whole machine. The documents outline her alleged method, almost like a playbook. First, target vulnerable young women, then promise them money or help with their career, and finally, deliver them right into Epstein's network for abuse. But here's where it gets even more complex. What if this network wasn't just about sexual abuse? The files have fueled some very serious theories that this whole thing was a much more complex operation with a far more sinister goal. To understand this next layer, you need to know one word: compromat. It's a Russian term for compromising material. Photos, videos, secret documents, stuff that can be used to blackmail public figures. And this is the key to the absolutely explosive theory that Epstein's entire operation was actually an intelligence gathering front. The sources seem to point in a few different directions. One theory suggests it was an Israeli intelligence operation to get compromat and influence U.S. policy. Another theory points toward Russia. Vladimir Putin's name actually appears over 1,000 times in the files. And then there's even a potential connection to the CIA, something Epstein himself was apparently looking into. So all of this points to one, frankly, chilling possibility. The horrific abuse may have just been the means to a much larger end. We're not just talking about a crime ring, but a sophisticated tool for international power plays and geopolitical leverage.
So after all these revelations, where does that leave us? It brings us to the most important part of this entire story, the lingering questions about justice, secrets, and the very nature of power. What happens now? It's really the central question hanging over this whole affair, isn't it? After years of secrets and now this huge dump of documents, will anyone truly be held accountable? And the answer is complicated, partly because of this number. You see, while millions of files have been unsealed, there's an estimate that over 3 million more Epstein-related files remain sealed, held back by the Department of Justice.
So what's in those hidden files? Well, potentially the most explosive evidence of all. We're talking FBI interview forms where survivors name other powerful men who abused them, memos from prosecutors explaining why those same men were never charged, and the contents of seized hard drives. This is the stuff that could change everything. And this quote from the Financial Times, it just perfectly captures the growing fear so many people have that there's a two-tiered system of justice. There's one for us, and there's a whole different world for the powerful, the politicians and billionaires named in these files, where the normal rules just don't seem to apply.
And that leaves us with one final haunting question. After everything these files have shown us, and maybe more importantly, everything they still hide, we just have to ask, when the powerful are implicated this deeply, is real justice even possible?